So I had this conversation with my dad the other day on what dictates a grail of a collection. For some people who know, my dad's a comic book collector. I'm a video game collector. And I figured that I'd bring over my buddy AJ here, and we would talk about some of what makes some of our, like, rare games as compared to some of our, like, games that are grails because they mean something to us. You want to start us off, AJ?
Sure. Do you want me to start with the rare?
Let's start with rare games. We'll get stuff that's worth the money out of the way first, because it's worth money because at times we care. Other than that, like, oh, this is nice to have because worst comes to worst, and I'm out of money and don't want to sell blood. There's this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, rare games. I don't have like super expensive games. Like the most expensive game I have is probably this one, which is Gun Knack. Let's see it there.
Yeah, here, we'll pull it in a little bit.
It's like $200 or $300, I think, which is a lot for a game, but I did not pay anywhere near that for it.
It says carrots on it.
Yeah, it's like a space rabbit shooter.
Space rabbit.
Yeah, that's why we gotta play it, because it's super awesome. You're killing rabbits in space, and
so it's the anti. It's the anti Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, kind of. Because I mean, except he doesn't have a suit on, but like the power ups and stuff are really cool in it. It's so much fun. That's why I had to get it.
Okay, you know me, I like shmups. So what else you got?
Yeah, I got Kickmaster. This one's about $60, $70 right now. I just got that not too long ago. I had what is it, Labor Day that's in May or Memorial Day?
I fucking can't remember.
Whatever one's in May. I got a sick deal I found on Facebook where this dude was selling NES games for $5 a piece, and that was one of them. And I also got Felix the Cat from that same dude that was $5, and that's $60, $70 game as well.
Honestly, I'm kind of jealous of Felix the Cat.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
I used to love Felix when I was little, so and I never played that game, and I still haven't played that game.
Well, maybe we'll do that tonight then.
Yeah. So this is another one that I got for $5.
Oh, we saved it.
I caught it. Shatterhand is also about $60, $70. It was $5. But what sucks though is that I just bought that game the week before at Level Up for like full retail.
Oh.
So now I have two, which I guess there's worse problems to have.
Mm.
Micro Machines isn't exactly super expensive, but I like the cart, and it's hard to find. And plus, it's a Blockbuster one.
Yeah, I mean,
I love the red.
I don't know what off-brand cart that is.
I want to say because they make other stuff too. I can't remember the name of it though.
But it's
Aladdin.
not Wisdom Tree.
I think it's Aladdin.
Aladdin?
I think so.
I'll say it's not Wisdom Tree. It's not Tengen.
No, it's not. I mean, one of the super known ones. But I mean, that's like. I also have Metal Storm, which I didn't bring, and DuckTales 2, Snow Brothers.
Bucky,
Chubby Cherub.
Yeah, alright.
So, I mean, that's the majority of my rare money value games.
Yeah. When it comes to money games, I mean, about this, it's actually been dropping in price lately. And it used to be like about $80. Dragon Warrior 4. I love the Dragon Warrior series, so I bought this probably 2 or 3 months ago.
From John Kayla?
I did get that from John and Kayla.
That was only a month ago, bro.
Was it only a month?
August.
Oh my god, I'm losing my mind.
Oh, I have more games in there. I forgot I brought Tournament Fighters and Contra Wars.
Oh yeah,
That's fine.
yeah. But speaking of turtles,
Yeah.
this is like the first like super rare game I kind of bought, and
The game's not really rare, but
the game's not rare. But having everything with it and all that, and I literally got it half price at the time they had it, and that is a complete Turtles in Time. This game, if you've never touched this game, is the shit. And this would go in my sentimental pile if it wasn't so fucking expensive nowadays to have it like this.
Yeah, oh yeah. The box and the manual and all that is just crazy. Because everybody loves the Turtles, so everybody collects the Turtles.
Yeah. This, like, here's the thing. My rarest games, I've won. I have won in random lottos, basically, every time to have a game that was worth a goddamn money-wise. Yeah, which is Mega Man X4 on the Sega Saturn. Like, this game is dirt fucking cheap on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But the Saturn version's like $125.
Because everything on the Saturn is expensive.
Okay, Saturn is the best Sega system. Because it's just supposed to be that fucking super powerhouse.
Yeah.
For like 16-bit, like it's a pixel powerhouse.
Yeah, I guess. I'd still take the Genesis any day. But...
Yeah. You. I did a trade for this one with a winning from another one of those raffles. That is like the prize of the PS2 stuff, and that's Ruler Rose. And I've yet to really play this game at all. Because, like, anytime I get to, it's like, I don't know. I get kind of like, it's weird you get like that nervous thing, like, I'm going to damage the fucking game as soon as I put it in.
Yeah.
Like, it turns into glass that's already got a big crack in it as soon as, like, I'm going to play the expensive game today.
Well, I mean, October's coming up. It's a good time to play it.
Yeah, it's true. That might be a fun stream there in October. Especially because AJ here is going to be around a little bit more often now. And we're going to be celebrating that tonight with a stream. And that's going to be a hell of fun.
Yeah.
But the last out of the expensive games, and I think it's the most expensive game between us.
Yeah.
And someone's a little bit salty about it. But it's Panic Restaurant. I think I've shown this before. I'm not sure if I've shown it on the channel or anything. But this is now about a $600 NES game.
Yep.
About a cook trying to kill a 6-course meal, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's fun.
I love it.
But it's crazy that it's $600.
Yeah. I mean, it's in that little Samson territory of like the top tier where it's just, the price is just insane.
Yeah. Those things that Game Chasers have shown, Game Sacks talked about.
Yeah.
And just, it's just huge now. And because the price is high, and I got very lucky.
Yeah, you did.
You want to go on your sentimental games, though, that are like actual things you cannot imagine having your collection without.
Right. So, as prepared as I was for this, I had to steal some ears because I didn't... Your wording of doing this was questionable. But,
yeah.
So, I just chose 4 out of his from what I would think of. Number 1 is Dr. Mario. Everybody knows Dr. Mario. My sentimental reason for this game is because my great-grandma Eileen had an NES and a Super Nintendo, which is why we'll get into the next ones. But she would literally play Dr. Mario with me for hours and hours. And she was, like, hella good for being old. Like, and so Dr. Mario, and there's another one called Vegas Dream, which is like a super cheap NES game. It's like $2 or $3. But, like, we used to play, because you could have 3 or 4 players at a time. Mm-hmm. And we would play so much of that at every family get-together. So, that also goes to these two, which is the same... Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country, the originals, for the same reasons. Kind of like that's just the game that I played with my whole family when we had the family get-togethers at her house. So I played a lot of Super Mario World. Also, Super Mario World was the first time I ever used a Game Genie in my life. Mm-hmm. Like, they pulled it out and they're like, "Oh," I was like, "What is this? How does it work?" And then they like put the moon jump code in, and like my mind was just blown with how awesome it is. And Donkey Kong Country is just the best. I love that game.
See, I didn't get to have like that experience. I didn't get to game with family a lot, and so that I can like I got to game with my Aunt Chris, which is why Donkey Kong Country would have been on my list if you hadn't picked it out.
Right.
But and then we've got one last one from you.
So this one is sentimental for multiple reasons. It was my first N64 game. Like, my mom bought me the Nintendo 64 for revenge. She picked up, like, a second job at KB Toys to buy me an N64 and get me revenge. which was like $70 at the time. And like I just played so much of that game. Like between me and my brother Dale and my stepbrother and like anybody who was willing to play that game with me, I would play that game for hours and hours and hours, and I still do. Like, you know, when we went to MagFest in January, I went into the Revenge tournament and I got third, right?
I think third.
Yeah.
I'll say someone knew all the cheap, not real characters.
Oh yeah, Kimchi.
Yeah.
Kimchi whooped my ass.
All right. We'll start with the most expensive out of the sentimental ones to me, and that's Chrono Trigger. This game's just super fucking good. Like I can't. Like I stream it off and on when I've been doing my streams, which I talk all up and never seem to be able to keep a schedule. Hopefully that'll change eventually. But Chrono Trigger is just super fucking good. The music's super good.
The music's awesome.
It's the whole the music from that game is the whole reason I'm so ready to spend money and buy the collector's edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because it's the same guy doing the music. I think this is when me and AJ kind of share now.
Yeah.
And that's Base Wars. We started watching a show called Continue. I probably watched it for a year before I got you into it.
Yeah.
And they played this game like once. And they're like, oh, that looks kind of fun. We'll try it out. And we just both kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah, we had a pretty epic matchup with it. And I mean, they played it once on the show, and then they play it at every convention they go to now because it's such a popular thing. Like, if we would have went to Indie Pop, if we could have been to game night at Indie PopCon, I would have beat Nick Murphy's ass at it. But that's fine. I beat your ass, so.
All right, yeah. You so far the score is 0-1 on Base Wars for us.
My Goldberg streak.
Yeah. Next up is this game's made by my favorite video game director. It's super sorely like not played at all, especially with like the names behind it, because you have Suda51 as the director. I'm trying to think of the fucking names now. I think it's Shinji Mikami and Akira Yamaoka. Well, Shinji Mikami is the guy behind Resident Evil, and Akira is the guy who did all the music for the Silent Hill games. And like the sound design in this game is good. The combat is basically RE4, but just a little bit more polished up. And Suda51 always delivers on a super bullshit, over-the-top story that makes no goddamn sense. And I fucking love it.
Right.
And that's Shadows of the Damned. This is one of the few games, like modern games, that I've played through multiple times. And in the end, this whole game's a big dick joke. That is all it is. Your gun's name is Johnson. His gun mode is called the Boner. And when you get your first upgrade, you get the Hot Boner, where you shoot your gooey load all over things and shoot it again to make it explode.
That's awesome.
Yep. And the last on my my sentimental stuff is really kind of odd, and it's Simon's Quest.
That's not odd.
On the Tiger Electronic. Well, it is, because a lot of people don't like the Tiger Electronics.
Yeah, but all the kids from our age group had some of those at some point. Like I told you when you bought it, I had Power Rangers, I had Darkwing Duck. So, I mean, it's not weird, it's just, you don't...
Nah, I bet you there's some people out there who are like, no, those games are shit still.
Well, I mean, they are, but...
Yeah. No, that game's 10 out of 10. Fucking better than Castlevania Lords of Shadow, that's for sure. But it's sentimental to me in the fact that I don't have any of the games I ever grew up with. A couple of years ago, all the games that basically I had grown through my childhood and everything were at my aunt's. Well, my aunt had a gas leak and her house blew up. And basically, other than Atari games, which I had bought all for her, that are sitting in a room next door that I may have touched once ever when I was over there, I have none of my stuff. And it's not like I have my toys from my childhood, because she has a lot of grandkids, and I basically given them to her for her grandkids to play with. So I have none of that, none of that. And we literally found this probably yet again like a month ago.
Yeah, the same day.
It was same day? No, it was a different trip.
It was a different trip.
But I found this and I about cried. So I had never seen it since I was like 7, and I was like, I don't care what price it is. I need to have it. I had to have it.
That's a really good game.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. So let us guys know. Let us know what are your expensive games, but what are those games that you can't imagine having not in a collection, or even if you got rid of your collection, like, I can't get rid of this because it means something more to me than it just being a super fun video game. But until that time comes, we'll see you guys in the next episode.